folks. All right, the other day I mentioned one of the ways to have more money in your business is by reducing expenses, okay, which having more money means better cash flow, right? So then yesterday I talked about cash flow. So let's expand on that a bit, all right? Talk about it from the reducing expenses side. There are a bunch of ways to do that, some with more immediate effect than others, but all of it you do will all add up. And we'll do some specifics, but let's talk about what should you be reducing first. Okay, the question you want to ask is this money going out the door, is this consistent with my goals? Now, you wrote down a bunch of goals and you said, I want this. And if that's what you want, then ask yourself, is this spending action I'm doing here, is that consistent? Or should I really just don't do that? And I don't know what that looks like. If it looks like, if you're a guy that likes new cars, you like new cars. If it's on your goal list, I want to be a guy that's driving a new car all the time. I don't fault you for that. I'm not that guy, okay? I always drove a modest car, a lot of times a used car, and it wasn't on my list of things that I just had to have. But there were other things. I traveled a lot, okay? I spent more money on travel than most people spend on travel. That's maybe not what you do, but it was on my list, okay? So I'm not making value judgments. I'm asking you to just look at whatever you're spending money on and say, is that consistent with my goals? And if it's not, there's going to have to be some discipline, some management perhaps. You're going to have to do things that you don't want to do and not be able to spend money on things you wanted to spend money on so that you can get to where you really want to go. So, what do you want? Maybe you're just playing games, or maybe you're trying to feel important, or maybe you just like hanging with the homies. I don't know why you're in business, but if you're not in business to make money, I don't know what you're there for, but if you're going to be in business, you should play by the rules. And that means that you should be making a profit after you pay the people that helped you make the profit. That would be your suppliers, your employees. There's taxes involved. You have to cover all of that stuff. And if you're not going to play by the rules of being in business, then I'm not telling you you can't be in business. I'm just saying you're going to have a miserable affair of it. And you're going to be the kind of customer or boss that other people don't really want to have, probably. I'm just saying, okay? So what's it really look like? If you're not having enough money in your business to make things run smoothly, like you just can't seem to get your employees paid, well, you should be the first one not to get paid, not them. Yeah, you're here to make money, but if you're going to be in business, you're playing by the rules. Employees get paid first, okay? Never, ever hold on to the withholding tax. All right? That's not a way to bring cash into your business. I remember one time not having enough money, and I had all these envelopes with checks in them, and I was deciding who got mailed today, right? And I was holding that withholding money in that envelope. I'm telling you, I said to myself, Dale, if you don't do this the first time, you can't do it the second time either. And I was smart enough not to do that, but I have seen men, good friends, fellow I'm having dinner with this Thursday night. I mean, a real friend. And he got behind with the IRS, and it was trouble. It took a long time to get straightened up, and there were penalties, and it was awful. Don't do that, all right? But don't pay yourself first, pay your employees. Employees get paid first. Suppliers get paid second. After that, everybody else. And you are at the end of the list, right? If you keep yourself at the end of the list, you'll find out you've managed to pay all those other people, all right? Other ways to just improve cash flow, reducing your expenses, is don't buy a new whatever. Don't buy the things that make you feel good. Okay, keep your eye on the goal, right? My mom used to say, keep your eye on the donut, not on the hole. I have notes over here, you remember. Okay, there are things that you will call investments in your business. This is money that you can justify spending, but you don't have to do it. And going to conventions is one of those things. Generally at a convention, you get re-energized and you learn things that you hadn't found before, and you meet a supplier and you see new tools, or whatever it is that happens at your conventions. But you know what? If you have a severe cash flow problem, don't go to the convention. You got all the smart stuff for free from me right now you need, okay? At this juncture, you need to stay home. And extra employees. Sometimes you got a bunch of people, and if you're a pretty decent boss, you don't want to let any of those people go. You want to take care of them. They say the most successful employers, managers, are people who think of their employees as children. And we don't mean that in some kind of rotten way here. You're not talking down to you people, but you care for them and you explain things to them. You don't expect things from them that they don't understand, that sort of thing. Well, you care about your people, and you should care about your people. But if you have too many of them, you're putting all the rest of them in danger. So if you have 7 people working for you, say, and the ends are not coming together and you're not getting paid either, it's time to let somebody go. And you have loyalty, and whoever you let go, if the person's been there a long time, they're going to scream at you. It's going to be as horrible as you think it is. I hate to tell you that, but it is. It's going to be just awful. Particularly if you love the person that you're letting go, it's terrible. But you've got to look out for the other people, and at some point you have to get paid. Not paying yourself is a temporary thing, not a permanent thing. All right. Overtime is a big place. That requires you to manage tighter. Employees can get overtime, excuse me. Some of them will just milk that clock. You're going to have to manage, step up. What can I tell you? Go basic versus luxury. Like Dale in the regular car versus the nice car. I'd like to have driven a nice car, but I found it was one of the things that I could live without so that I could travel. Okay. Debt expense is another one. That's going to be, I think, the next thing I'm going to talk about, debt expense. Debt expense is a real killer. It'll eat you right on up. All right. So getting out of debt is a way to reduce expenses, an important, good way to reduce it. All right. I think that's plenty for right now, and we'll go into more in the next one. All right. See you then. Bye. Hey, friends. I hope this was useful to you. Would you do something for me? Would you please share this with anybody you know that ought to hear it too? And then would you please give me the thumbs up and subscribe, right? That's kind of important on these things. Feel free to leave comments. All right. Thanks a lot. And now get out there and do some winning.